First contact's price. The message arrived on a quiet Tuesday afternoon, transmitted simultaneously to every quantum communication array on Earth. Dr. Sarah Chen was sipping her coffee in the Beijing Quantum Research Center when her holographic display erupted with activity. Similar scenes played out at facilities in Prague, Melbourne, and Lagos. Humanity's first contact with an alien civilization wasn't happening through radio waves or light signals, but through the quantum realm itself. To the governing bodies of Earth, the message began, its perfect translation into every human language, simultaneously a clear demonstration of technological superiority. We are the collective federation of aligned species, and we have been watching your development with great interest. Sarah's hands trembled as she read the rest of the message, her coffee forgotten. The Federation was offering humanity membership, along with access to technologies that would solve their energy crisis, cure diseases, and unlock the secrets of faster-than-light travel. The price: exclusive rights to Earth's genetic library, every species, every variation, every strand of DNA that had evolved on their planet over billions of years. They're essentially asking us to sell our planet's biological heritage, Sarah explained to the Emergency UN Council 3 days later. The quantum hologram of her presentation flickered above the Assembly Hall in New York. Yes, they're offering incredible technological advances, but they want complete control over every living thing that has ever evolved on Earth. The Federation's representative, a being that called itself Ambassador Xinra, floated in the chamber like a shimmering curtain of light. Its voice resonated directly in their minds, a courtesy it explained, to avoid any miscommunication. Your species has achieved remarkable progress, but you still suffer from diseases, energy shortages, and the limitations of slower-than-light travel. We offer you solutions to all these problems. But Sarah had spent the last 3 days analyzing the quantum signatures of the Federation's communications. Something about them felt familiar, too familiar. Like finding advanced calculus in a primary school textbook. It shouldn't have been there, shouldn't have made sense, and yet it did. Ambassador, she addressed the shimmering curtain. Your quantum communication technology operates on principles that we humans have theorized, but haven't yet implemented. Principles that were first proposed in science fiction stories before being validated by our quantum physicists. How is it that your method of communication aligns so perfectly with our theoretical models? The shimmer in the air paused, a hesitation that lasted barely a microsecond, but was noticed by every quantum sensor in the room. Convergent development, the ambassador responded. Certain scientific principles are universal. Sarah pressed further. And yet your translation matrix perfectly captures every human idiom, every cultural reference, even our most obscure regional expressions. It's as if you didn't just study our languages, but lived them. The shimmer rippled, its quantum signature fluctuating in patterns that Sarah's instruments eagerly recorded. We have studied your species thoroughly before making contact. This should not surprise you. But Sarah wasn't done. She gestured, and her holographic display showed a complex quantum interference pattern. This is the signature of your communications network. And this, she swiped, bringing up another pattern, is the quantum signature we detected 3 years ago during the Global Consciousness Project's breakthrough experiment. They're identical. The chamber erupted in whispers. The Global Consciousness Project had been a controversial experiment, attempting to prove that human consciousness could influence quantum systems on a massive scale. It had produced unexpected results that nobody could explain, until now. You've been watching us. Sarah continued, her voice steady despite her racing heart, not from the stars, but from the quantum realm itself. You're not here to offer us technology. You're here because you discovered we can do something you can't. Something about human consciousness terrifies you. The ambassador's form flickered violently. Your species is young, Dr. Chen. You don't understand the dangers of uncontrolled evolution. The genetic diversity of your planet, combined with your unique quantum consciousness interface, poses risks to the entire galaxy. We are not here to exploit you, but to contain a potential catastrophe. Sarah smiled, a gesture that didn't reach her eyes. "No, Ambassador. You're here because in all your millions of years of evolution, in all your technological advancement, you never developed what humanity stumbled upon by accident: the ability to directly influence quantum reality through collective consciousness. You want our genetic code because you think it holds the key to this ability. But you're wrong." She stepped forward, her quantum sensors recording everything. "The key isn't in our genes. It's in our stories, in our dreams, in our endless capacity to imagine the impossible until it becomes reality. You didn't contact us through quantum communications because you wanted to demonstrate your superiority. You did it because it was the only way you could reach us, through the quantum network we've been unconsciously building since the first human looked up at the stars and dared to dream." The ambassador's form stabilized, but its quantum signature had changed. Fear. Sarah's instruments were detecting fear. "You don't understand what you're capable of," it said. "No," Sarah agreed, addressing not just the ambassador, but the entire Federation watching through it. "We don't. Not yet. But we're learning. And we won't let you stop us from finding out." The quantum sensors across the globe recorded the exact moment the ambassador's signal disappeared, not in retreat, but in shock. Humanity's first contact hadn't ended in submission or conquest, but in the revelation that they possessed something far more valuable than mere technology: the power to shape reality itself through the quantum echoes of their collective imagination. As Sarah stared at the empty space where the ambassador had been, she couldn't help but smile. The Federation would be back, she knew. But next time, they wouldn't come as conquerors or saviors. They would come as supplicants, seeking to understand how a young species on a small blue planet had achieved what their vast civilization could not: the power to dream new realities into existence. The hidden defense. In the 3 months following the Federation's abrupt departure, Earth changed. The revelation that human consciousness could influence quantum reality sparked a global transformation that no one had anticipated. Dr. Sarah Chen found herself at the center of it all, working with a hastily assembled international team of scientists, artists, and dreamers. The Federation's quantum signatures had been analyzed, replicated, and improved upon. But more importantly, humanity had begun to understand the true nature of their power. It wasn't just about technology. It was about belief, imagination, and the collective will of billions of minds working in unconscious harmony. Every science fiction story, every dream, every moment of human imagination has been contributing to this, Sarah explained to the UN Security Council. The quantum display behind her showed a complex web of interconnected energy patterns spanning the globe. "We've been building this defense network our entire history. We just didn't know it." The patterns showed what they now called the Dreamweave, a quantum field generated by human consciousness itself. It surrounded the Earth like an iridescent bubble, visible only through the most sensitive quantum instruments. But its effects were undeniable. The laws of physics themselves seemed to bend within its influence, responding to humanity's collective expectations of how the universe should work. Lieutenant Maya Patil of the newly formed Quantum Defense Initiative watched the sensor readings from her station in low Earth orbit. The Dreamweave rippled with colors that shouldn't exist in normal space, each fluctuation representing the thoughts and dreams of billions of people. "They're coming back," Maya announced, her voice calm despite the gravity of the situation. The quantum sensors had detected multiple Federation vessels approaching from the direction of Alpha Centauri. But this time, Earth was ready. The Federation fleet emerged from hyperspace just beyond Mars' orbit. 12 ships of impossible scale, each one larger than Earth's moon. Their quantum signatures pulsed with power that would have seemed godlike just a few months ago. Now, humanity recognized it for what it was: crude, brute force manipulation of quantum states, lacking the subtle harmony of human consciousness. Ambassador Xinra's transmission came as expected, but this time it manifested on Earth's terms, not as a shimmering curtain of light, but as a solid hologram standing before the UN Security Council. The Federation had learned some humility, it seemed. "We have reviewed your situation," the ambassador began, its translated voice carrying none of its former condescension. "The Federation is prepared to offer new terms. We will share all our technological knowledge, all our resources, in exchange for understanding how your species achieves quantum consciousness integration." Sarah stepped forward, her own quantum signature now visible as a subtle aurora around her form. "You still don't understand, Ambassador. What we do isn't a technology that can be traded or reverse engineered. It's who we are. It's every story we've ever told, every dream we've ever dreamed, every possibility we've imagined." The ambassador's form flickered with what the quantum sensors registered as frustration. "Your species is developing too quickly. The Federation has observed countless civilizations over millions of years. None have ever achieved quantum consciousness integration without strict controls and safeguards. You are a danger to yourselves and others." Maya's voice came through the quantum comm, urgent but controlled. "Multiple ships are moving into attack positions. Quantum weapons signatures detected." Sarah smiled. "Are we a danger, Ambassador? Or are we simply the first species you've encountered that found a different path? You built your civilization on control and predictability. We built ours on dreams and possibilities." The Federation ships launched their attack, streams of concentrated quantum energy designed to tear apart the fabric of space-time itself. They struck the Dreamweave and transformed. The destructive energy twisted and flowed, becoming part of the quantum field generated by human consciousness. Earth's defense wasn't stopping the attack. It was incorporating it, adapting it, dreaming it into something new. "Impossible," the ambassador whispered, its quantum signature registering genuine awe. "You're not just deflecting our weapons. You're evolving them." "That's what we do," Sarah replied. "We take the impossible and make it real. We look at the void between stars and dream of ways to cross it. We face our limitations and imagine ways to overcome them." Every human who ever looked up at the night sky and wondered what if has contributed to this defense. The Federation ships hung motionless in space, their weapons rendered useless not by superior technology, but by humanity's collective ability to dream up better possibilities. The Dreamweave shimmered with new patterns, incorporating the Federation's attack into its ever-evolving structure. "Your choice is simple, Ambassador," Sarah continued. "You can continue to attack us, and we will continue to transform your weapons into something new. Or you can accept that the galaxy is larger than your understanding of it, that there are paths to advancement you haven't imagined yet." The quantum sensors recorded the exact moment the Federation ships powered down their weapons. Not in defeat, but in recognition. They had come expecting to find a young species in need of control and guidance. Instead, they had found teachers. Maya's voice came through again, tinged with wonder. "The Dreamweave, it's extending beyond our solar system. We're picking up quantum resonance from other civilizations, younger species, ones the Federation has been protecting. They're starting to dream too." The ambassador's hologram stood silent for a long moment, its quantum signature shifting through patterns the human sensors had never recorded before. "Perhaps," it finally said, "it is time for the Federation to learn how to dream." Memory of stars. The quantum ripples spread across the galaxy like waves in a cosmic pond. Dr. Sarah Chin watched the data streams flow across her laboratory's holographic displays, each pulse representing another civilization awakening to its own potential. The Federation had maintained control for millions of years by convincing younger species that consciousness-driven quantum manipulation was impossible without their advanced technology. Now that lie was unraveling. "We're receiving requests for contact from 17 different species," Lieutenant Maya Patul reported, her hologram floating beside Sarah's workstation. The space station where Maya was now stationed had been renamed Dreamcatcher, humanity's first deep space quantum consciousness monitoring facility. Most of them were considered pre-quantum civilizations by Federation standards. Turns out they just needed permission to dream. Sarah nodded, studying the complex patterns of quantum interference that connected these awakening civilizations. Each species had its own unique signature, its own way of touching the quantum fabric of reality. But they all shared one common factor. They had started to dream after exposure to the expanding dreamweave. "The Federation Council is requesting an emergency session," Maya continued. "Apparently, some of their member species are experiencing concerning developments." The irony in her voice was clear. The emergency session convened in quantum space, a shared consciousness construct that humans had theorized about in science fiction for centuries before making it reality. Representatives from Earth, the Federation, and the newly awakening species gathered as quantum projections, their forms shaped by their own self-perception and cultural imagery. Ambassador Xinray appeared not as the shimmering curtain of light it had first shown itself as, but as a more defined form, a crystalline structure that pulsed with internal light. "The situation is becoming untenable," it began. "Species under Federation protection are developing quantum consciousness abilities without proper safeguards. The potential for chaos is immense." Sarah, appearing as herself but wreathed in aurora-like quantum energies, responded, "You mean they're developing abilities without Federation control? That's what really concerns you, isn't it?" A new voice joined the conversation, a representative from one of the awakening species, the Xinthari, appearing as a swirling vortex of bioluminescent patterns. "We have memories," it said, its translated voice filled with wonder and anger in equal measure. "Memories of things we never knew we forgot. Our ancestors could touch the quantum realm before the Federation came with their protection and their technology." The quantum space rippled with agreement from other representatives. More voices joined in, speaking of ancient legends, of abilities lost, of stories passed down through generations about a time when their people could shape reality through thought alone. The Federation didn't discover quantum manipulation technology, Sarah realized, the pieces finally falling into place. "You discovered civilizations that could naturally manipulate quantum reality, and you found a way to suppress that ability, to replace it with technology that you could control." The ambassador's crystalline form flickered defensively. "We brought order to chaos. Before us, species were developing quantum consciousness abilities randomly, dangerously. We provided a safe, controlled path to advancement. You provided a cage." Another voice cut in, this one from the Ahiri, appearing as a matrix of living mathematics. "Our people's earliest writings speak of touching the stars with our thoughts. We believed they were just myths." Sarah watched the quantum signatures of the gathered species, seeing patterns align and resonate in ways that even humanity hadn't yet achieved. "The dreamweave isn't creating something new," she said slowly, understanding dawning. "It's helping species remember what they always knew, what's encoded in their very genes, in their collective memory." The quantum space erupted with emotions. Anger, joy, fear, hope, each feeling sending ripples through the fabric of reality itself. The Federation representatives drew closer together, their quantum signatures synchronizing in what the sensors registered as defensive patterns. "You don't understand the dangers," Ambassador Xinray insisted. "When every species can manipulate quantum reality according to their own beliefs and desires, the very structure of space-time becomes unstable. We brought uniformity, predictability, safety." "No," Sarah countered, "you brought stagnation. You forced every species to conform to your understanding of reality, your rules of what was and wasn't possible. But the universe isn't uniform or predictable. It's alive with possibilities, with dreams waiting to be dreamed into reality." The Xinthari representatives' bioluminescent patterns swirled faster. "We're receiving reports from our homeworld. Children are beginning to demonstrate abilities, touching quantum fields naturally, instinctively, like remembering how to walk." Similar reports came in from other species. The awakening wasn't just spreading, it was accelerating. Each civilization that remembered its true nature served as a catalyst for others. The dreamweave had evolved beyond Earth's creation, becoming a galaxy-wide network of awakening consciousness. Your choice is no longer about whether to allow this development, Sarah addressed the Federation Council. It's about whether you'll help guide these species as they remember who they truly are, or continue trying to suppress their natural evolution. The quantum space filled with a new kind of silence, not the absence of sound, but the presence of potential, of countless minds poised on the edge of remembering. The Federation representatives' quantum signatures showed clear signs of internal conflict. Finally, Ambassador Xinra spoke again, its crystalline form shifting into something less rigid, more organic. Perhaps it is time for the Federation to remember as well. Before we were the controllers of quantum technology, we too were dreamers. The gathered representatives witnessed something unprecedented. The quantum signatures of the Federation species beginning to change, ancient patterns emerging from beneath millions of years of technological suppression. They were remembering their own lost abilities, their own forgotten dreams. The stars themselves seemed to pulse in response, as if the galaxy was awakening to the touch of countless minds remembering how to dream. The counteroffer. The great ships of the Federation hung motionless in space, their quantum drives silent for the first time in millennia. Around them, reality itself seemed to shimmer as thousands of civilizations rediscovered their connection to the quantum realm. Dr. Sarah Chen stood on the observation deck of Dreamcatcher Station, watching the ethereal display through both her eyes and the station's quantum sensors. The Federation fleet is powering down their suppression fields, Lieutenant Maya Patul reported from her command station. All of them, across every sector. It's causing a cascade effect, like taking a dam away from a river. The quantum sensors told the story in stark detail. As each suppression field fell, the natural quantum abilities of nearby species flourished. The Dreamweave was expanding exponentially, no longer just Earth's creation, but a galaxy-wide awakening that grew stronger with each passing moment. We're receiving a priority transmission from the Zinthuri, Maya announced. They say they've discovered something in their ancestral archives, something the Federation missed during their initial conquest. The holographic display shifted, showing ancient symbols that pulsed with their own quantum signature. Sarah leaned forward, fascinated. They're not just recordings, she realized. They're living memories, stored in the quantum field itself. The Zinthuri representative materialized in the station's quantum space, its bioluminescent form more defined than before. Our ancestors left us a message, it said, its translated voice trembling with emotion. They knew the Federation would come. They knew we would forget, but they also knew we would remember when the time was right. Similar discoveries were being reported across the galaxy. Species after species found messages left by their ancestors, hidden in plain sight within their art, their music, their myths. Quantum information encoded in cultural memories that the Federation's technology couldn't detect or erase. Ambassador Xinra appeared in the quantum space, its crystalline form now showing traces of organic patterns. We thought we were bringing order to chaos, it said quietly. We never understood that the chaos we feared was just a pattern too complex for us to comprehend. Sarah nodded. Because you tried to control it instead of being part of it. You replaced natural quantum interaction with technology, thinking you were advancing these species, but you were actually limiting them to what you could understand and control. The quantum space rippled as more representatives joined the conversation, not just political leaders and scientists, but artists, storytellers, and dreamers from countless worlds. Each brought their own perspective, their own way of touching the quantum fabric of reality. The Federation's greatest fear, Sarah continued, wasn't that younger species would develop quantum abilities chaotically. It was that they would develop them differently, that they would dream up possibilities you never imagined. The ambassador's form shifted, showing more organic patterns than crystalline structure now. For millions of years, we believed we were the pinnacle of evolution. That our path, the suppression of natural quantum abilities in favor of technological control, was the only safe way forward. We were wrong. A new signal caught Maya's attention. We're detecting quantum fluctuations from Federation worlds, she reported, surprise evident in her voice. Their own suppressed abilities. They're starting to resurface. The Federation representatives in the quantum space began to change, their forms becoming less rigid, more diverse. Millions of years of technological homogeneity were giving way to ancient memories, to forgotten ways of being. We offer you a choice, Sarah addressed the Federation Council. Not surrender, not submission, but partnership. Humanity's gift isn't just our ability to influence quantum reality through consciousness. It's our ability to imagine new possibilities, to dream of ways things could be different. She gestured, and the quantum space filled with images, humans and aliens working together, sharing their unique perspectives, teaching each other new ways to touch the quantum realm. Let us help you remember how to dream, she offered, not as conquerors or subjects, but as equals, each species contributing its own unique way of seeing and shaping reality. The response came not just from the Federation Council, but from thousands of worlds simultaneously. The quantum field itself seemed to pulse with agreement, with hope, with the joy of remembrance. Species that had been locked in technological stasis for millions of years began to rediscover their original nature, their unique ways of touching the quantum realm. There will be chaos, the ambassador warned, though its tone held more excitement than fear now. When every species can shape reality according to their own nature, the very fabric of space-time will become unpredictable. Sarah smiled. That's not chaos, Ambassador. That's growth. That's evolution. That's what happens when you let life find its own path instead of trying to force it down a single road. The quantum sensors recorded something unprecedented. The Federation's ships were changing, their rigid geometric forms becoming more organic, more aligned with the natural quantum patterns of their creators. They were remembering, too, these ancient vessels, awakening to the touch of consciousness they had been designed to suppress. We accept your offer, the ambassador said, speaking for the entire Federation Council. Teach us what we have forgotten. Help us remember how to dream. The galaxy itself seemed to hold its breath, poised on the edge of a transformation more profound than any in its history. The age of suppression was ending. The age of dreams was about to begin. New Dawn Protocol. 1 year after humanity's counter-offer to the Federation, the galaxy had transformed beyond recognition. The Dreamcatcher Station, once a solitary human outpost, had become the heart of a new interstellar coalition. Dr. Sarah Chen stood in its central observation hub, watching quantum streams of consciousness flow between thousands of worlds like rivers of light in the void. The last Federation suppression field came down this morning. Lieutenant Maya Patel reported, her holographic form now intermixed with streams of quantum data, a new way of being that had emerged from the synthesis of human and alien consciousness technologies. We're registering unprecedented levels of quantum consciousness activity across all sectors. The quantum space around them, filled with representatives from across the galaxy, each appearing in forms that reflected their true nature rather than technological constraints. The Federation Council members, once uniform in their crystalline appearances, now showed incredible diversity, some flowing like liquid light, others pulsing with complex geometric patterns, each unique and authentic. The archive integration is complete, announced the Zentheri representative, its bioluminescent form dancing with excitement. We've successfully merged the quantum memory stores of over 10,000 species. The combined knowledge of our civilizations is now accessible to all, not as raw data, but as living memory. Sarah nodded, watching the quantum streams shift and flow. The archive integration had been humanity's most ambitious project yet, a way to share not just information, but experience itself across species boundaries. Through it, humans could experience the million-year history of the Federation from the inside, while Federation members could feel what it was like to be part of a young species that dreamed its way to the stars. We're detecting a new phenomenon, Maya reported suddenly, her attention drawn to a surge in quantum activity. The Combined Consciousness Network. It's beginning to resonate with something bigger. The observation hub's displays shifted, showing a pattern that made Sarah's breath catch in her throat. The quantum consciousness network that connected the galaxy's awakened species wasn't just a human creation anymore. It had evolved, grown, become something more. And now it was touching something ancient, something that had been waiting. Ambassador Xinra, its form now a beautiful blend of crystalline structure and organic flow, appeared beside them. The galaxy itself, it said with quiet awe, it's alive. It always has been. We just couldn't perceive it before. The quantum sensors confirmed what they were seeing. The galaxy, the entire spiral arm of stars they called home, had its own consciousness, its own dreams. The combined quantum network of awakened species had finally grown complex enough to connect with it, to hear its songs, to feel its dreams. This is what our ancestors were trying to tell us, the Xinthari representative realized. The messages they left behind, they weren't just about remembering our own abilities. They were trying to help us remember this. Through the archive integration, Sarah could feel the truth of it. Every species mythology spoke of it in some way. Humans with their Gaia hypothesis, the Xinthari with their stellar consciousness theories, even the Federation's oldest records hinted at it. The galaxy itself was alive and aware, and every species was part of its dream. The Federation's great mistake, Sarah said softly, wasn't just suppressing individual species' quantum abilities. By forcing every civilization to develop along the same technological path, they were preventing the galaxy's consciousness from awakening. It needed diversity. It needed different ways of dreaming. The quantum space filled with a new kind of presence, vast, ancient, yet somehow familiar. The collective consciousness of every awakened species resonated with it, like instruments finding harmony in a cosmic symphony. Through the archive integration, they could all feel it, the galaxy dreaming through them, with them, using the infinite variety of their perspectives to perceive and shape reality in new ways. This changes everything, the ambassador said, its form rippling with emotion. All our theories about quantum physics, about consciousness, about the nature of reality itself, it doesn't change them. Sarah corrected gently. It completes them. Every species' understanding was part of a larger truth. We just needed to learn how to dream together to see it. Maya's sensors detected more changes spreading through the quantum network. Other galaxies, she reported with wonder. We're picking up quantum signatures from Andromeda, from the Magellanic Clouds. They're alive too. They're dreaming too. The observation hub filled with light as representatives from every awakened species shared in the moment of discovery. Through the archive integration, they experienced it not as separate beings, but as part of something greater, a cosmic consciousness that had been waiting for its children to remember how to dream. So what now? Maya asked, her form shimmering with possibility. Where do we go from here? Sarah smiled, feeling the pulse of billion-year-old dreams flowing through the quantum network. Now, she said, we learn how to dream on a galactic scale. Together. The quantum streams shifted, carrying the thoughts and dreams of countless species across the vastness of space. The Federation's age of control was over. The galaxy's long slumber was ending. A new era had begun, not of conquest or submission, but of awakening and remembrance, of infinite diversity and infinite possibilities. In the space between stars, reality itself seemed to shimmer with joy as the galaxy dreamed through its children once again, each species adding its own unique note to the cosmic symphony of consciousness. The future was no longer a path to be controlled, but a dream to be shaped by all.